Chicago didn't even blink when Angel Reese was traded. No hesitancy, drama, or second-guessing, just a calm Tuesday morning, and a team is letting go of one of the most well-known names in women's basketball, a rebounding record holder, a two-time All-Star.
The putback, first points of her All-Star career, and Angel.
A double-double on foot, absent. This is where things become even more intriguing, because Chicago recently made a decision that absolutely contradicts the narrative in a league that is now dominated by the spotlight surrounding Caitlin Clark, where every possession is analyzed, every statistic is magnified, and every star is transformed into a headline. Viral moments in box score explosions. When everyone else is seeking star power, the Sky took a step back and made a different decision. We must pose the question that no one wants to answer while the internet yells that they lost a superstar. But what if they didn't? What if this was about getting away from a delusion rather than losing talent? Because this trade doesn't go unnoticed. If Angel Reese was indeed that player, T didn't ignite a war. And the true story starts there, in that hushed game of consequences and numbers. Since most people's comprehension of this scenario absolutely collapses at this point, let's start with the numbers. The surface numerals appear to be in fine shape. That is accurate: All-Star honors, double-doubles, and a rebounding record that will likely last for years.
Just short, and a rebound for Angel Reese now. Been with the program with Puerto Rico for a very long time.
Angel Reese seems like the perfect player to create a franchise around. If you're just looking at a stat sheet without any further information, let's examine the stat sheet in more detail. In 2024, Angel Reese's field goal percentage was 39%. For a post player whose entire game revolves around playing near the basket, she is not required to make her own shots off dribbles from the perimeter, pull up from mid-range during transitions, or do anything other than be productive in areas of the floor that are 8 to 10 feet from the rim. Every film room in the league should be alarmed by the amount of 39% from the pitched. Reese's supporters saw her pushing it up to about 42% in 2025 as a step forward, proof of growth, and an indication that the trajectory was heading in the right direction. Indeed, 42% is superior to 39%. However, every defensive coordinator in the league still knows exactly how to guard her based on this statistic. And all of them were aware of it in both seasons. Her three-point shooting percentage was close to 18%. Not 28, which is still too low for a forward in the modern era. Not 22, which would at least make defenses reconsider. 18%. Because of how regularly and remarkably low that number is, it has ceased to be a vulnerability and has instead turned into a tactical advantage for rival managers. Beyond the arc, you just didn't have to appreciate her. Never. She touched it from a distance, clogged the paint, and waited for defenders to take a full step inside on every possession. She had no intention of punishing you from the outside.
Right away, Angel Reese with her first assist to Williams.
Every night, defenses responded to the huge amount of data. The piece that truly breaks the rebounding record, however, is this one. I want you to think about this for a second because it completely alters the story surrounding her most well-known statistics accomplishment. Her own missed jumpers accounted for a significant chunk of those record-breaking rebounds. She would position herself in the post, snag the ball, attempt a disputed shot close to the basket, miss it, and then grab the rebound as the ball bounced off the iron. That was recorded as a rebound in the box score. The wasted possession was not recorded. The interrupted offensive rhythm was not recorded. The fact that Chicago's offense had to essentially start over while the defense had to reset, reestablish, and get ready for another possession was not recorded. To get back to the same place, two items must be consumed. Game after game, night after night. Beyond the missed shots and the appearance of rebounding, she was just not improving her teammates for the whole season. Cutters were not put in better positions by any genuine passes out of the post. There were no pick-and-roll readings that led to guards leaving screens with open looks. She didn't make any choices that would have made the game easier for other players. What the Sky had was a player that required more opportunities, touches, and possessions to deliver the same results in a single sequence as a more productive player. And as a result, the team was suffocating. They were not growing. They weren't in style. As the all-star choices piled up, they were slowly drowning.
What has the experience been like for you so far in your first All-Star game?
Man, it's been great.
And the win column fell silently. Now compare what was going on in Indiana over that same period of time to all you just learned about those 2 seasons in Chicago. So rookie in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark shattered 62 records.
Comes Clark. How will she go for history? There it is! The all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball.
62 distinct records in one season. For the first time in 9 years, the Indiana Fever qualified for the playoffs. This is what distinguishes statistically productive players from truly exceptional ones. Every player in Clark's vicinity improved as a result of her presence. Kelsey Mitchell changed as a player. Aaliyah Boston was successful, and her career, Lexi Hull, has never encountered open looks. Because of the way Clark directed the offense, pushed defenders out of the paint, and located the open player just before the window closed, the entire team improved. That's how improving a team truly looks. That's the norm. And when compared to that benchmark, there was a significant difference between what Clark was producing in Indiana and what Reese was producing in Chicago. The area was a canyon, and the WNBA ear, leadership contrasts with noise. However, the off-court timetable makes this deal entirely unavoidable, regardless of whether you disagree with the basketball analysis, think the efficiency figures were deceptive, or think the squad surrounding Reese was just too damaged for any one player to save, because the issues with the locker room and basketball did not exist independently. Month after month, they exacerbated one another until no front office could handle the issue any longer. Return to Indiana's opening night of the 2025 WNBA season. Angel Reese publicly claimed that she had been the victim of prejudice throughout the game before a single significant stretch of basketball had been played in the new year. That obviously has no place in our league. I believe that I have received excellent support from the WNBA, our team, and our company. That claim was taken seriously by the league. After conducting a thorough investigation, they were unable to find any proof. Not one, nothing. The investigation came to an unsubstantiated conclusion. Consider the pattern that was set by that particular moment. The first awkward circumstance of her second season as a professional. And her natural reaction was to avoid thinking about it. I've experienced a lot, I've witnessed a lot, I've experienced numerous attacks. Let her game react on the court as you compete through it. Before the season had gained traction, her default was to go public right away, make it bigger, louder, and involve the entire business in a scandal. That established the mood. The front office was keeping a tight eye on everything that transpired after that initial moment. I sincerely think that the Courtney Vanderloot case is overlooked in the commotion around this deal, and it merits much more attention than it has gotten. During the season, Vanderloot suffered an ACL tear. She was recuperating from a severe injury, performing the tedious, unglamorous, everyday tasks, awaiting the chance to return and support a side that she had deliberately selected over alternatives. Angel Reese told reporters that the squad could not count on Vanderloot to return at her age when she was sitting out, hurt, and vulnerable. Chicago needed a young, experienced player who was prepared to fight for a title. Regarding a wounded teammate, she mentioned all of that, candidly, during a recorded press conference. Now, let's be clear about Courtney Vanderloot's identity, as this is crucial to comprehending the harm those remarks did. Vanderloot has won 2 WNBA titles. Additionally, Courtney Vanderloot recently recorded the second triple-double in the playoffs. She has been exceptional throughout the entire game. She has been terrific, a veteran who left the New York Liberty, a team in the midst of a championship window, to come to Chicago and contribute to the creation of something significant. He is a 5-time All-Star and a 2-time All-WNBA first-team selection, and no one can disregard her as a minor player without repercussions that affect every interaction in the locker room. Every athlete on that squad came to the same conclusion at the same time when Reese publicly called her out while she was on the disabled list. You would learn about it from a reporter as soon as you ceased to be of assistance to Angel Reese. Furthermore, such insight is not limited to a press conference room. It follows every player into every quiet time where trust is either established or undermined, walks into the gym with you every morning, and sits in every movie session. Reese's frontcourt partner was Camila Cardoso. Chicago is currently reconstructing their entire future around this player. The ball gets dropped by Camila Cardoso, but this time I really enjoyed it. That dribble was a power dribble for her. Every night, she shared the paint with this individual. Additionally, Cardoso is said to have reached a point in the season where she quit. Not a request for a trade, not a private discussion with the coaching staff, a walkout. Take a time to truly understand what it takes to push your closest on-court teammate to that particular point. The person whose positioning depends solely on your trust, the one who creates screens for you, and the person who boxes out so you can collect rebounds. A team dinner or a discussion with a sports psychologist won't mend the fracture when that player decides she would rather quit than continue. T will never go away. Additionally, Chicago's strategy to develop around Cardoso was obviously unsuccessful. T was just not feasible while Reese stayed in the same building. Then followed the interview with the Chicago Tribune in September 2025. Reese informed the reporter that the squad had to quit settling for what they had accomplished that year and instead get outstanding players. Put it simply, the game has been exceptionally competitive over this recent run of games, and this team is striving to find the will to win. On the surface, That could be seen by someone who is unaware of the entire background as a player demanding a higher standard, holding her organization accountable, and refusing to accept mediocrity. However, she made such remarks when she was still bound by a contract.